All right, we're gonna go live in about 1 minute and attendees will start coming in a second. All right, we are ready.
Start.
Yes, you can go ahead and start.
Thank you. My name is Isam Al-Hadi. I am the Director of Education and Curatorial Affairs at the International Museum of Muslim Cultures in Jackson, Mississippi. I am very happy to have with us here today in this session Sister Salma Arastu. She's a calligrapher and curatorial affairs at this session. She's a painter, a sculptor, and a calligrapher, and she's an artist. Today she will be talking to us about our earth embracing all communities. And Sister Salma has more than 40 shows locally, here nationally and internationally. And she also received several prestigious awards, including the East Bay Community Fund for Artists in 2012, 14, and 20. She also got another award from Berkeley, where she lives right now in California. And also she displayed her works in different places, including Pennsylvania, San Diego, and other places. I am very happy to have Sister Salma with us here today, and I will let her take the platform now. So, Sister Salma, please go ahead.
Thank you, Dr. Sam, and I would like to thank International Museum of the Muslim Cultures for inviting me to present my book, Our Earth, Embracing All Communities. I have been painting for many years, and Dr. Sam, thank you for your beautiful intro also. But I have been very inspired from Quran since last 20 years. And it has been my practice to read every day and pick up some verses which talk about mercy, love, diversity, unity, friendship from Quran. And I started making large paintings with calligraphy with these themes. But it's because I wanted to share this wisdom of Quran with a common man. So I did this large painting so that people come close and at least try to read it, that what these verses are saying. So apart from that, as I was reading every day, suddenly since 5 years, I think I started noticing the verses about nature. They've been always there, but I think they caught my mind and eye and heart, like when I read those verses, how Allah is talking about the nature, the earth, the sky, the clouds, the trees, the plants, the animals and the birds and the insignificant, even we call it insignificant, like spider or ant and bees. And it's amazing. And he's asking us to learn lessons from these. And and I always thought Quran is a textbook and nature is a workbook. Because after each this verse, it would ask us to go out in the nature and look at the nature and understand the meaning of the creation and Allah's purpose in this creation and Allah's purpose in creating us also. So these were very such thoughts, which led me in this direction. And I started noticing, started writing them down, these verses about nature. And I found so many verses. I was collecting them since 5 years. So I decided to make it a project and turn into project and make paintings, some of the paintings describing these verses through my abstract folk style, so that people can appreciate, the children can understand, especially because that is of a future generation. And I really want to teach children that how to take care of this beautiful earth, which is a gift to us. So I started working on them, and in December 2019, I proposed to East Bay Community Foundation with my proposal, this proposal, Our Earth Embracing All Communities. I was ready to create these paintings. So I needed this support funding because I wanted to create a book also. I wanted to exhibit also. So I needed little funding, and I thought this is how I'll start work anyway, but let me try for this funding. And it so happened, in March when the pandemic started, though it was a very difficult time for all. But for me, it was perfect timing to shut my doors in my studio and continue working on my project, because just before the pandemic, I got the email from East Bay Community Foundation saying, your proposal is approved and you will be given this grant amount. And at the same time, many donors, many private donors who love my work, who follow my work, even they donated some amount to this project. So I think I was really ready. So I started working on that, and I think I was worked all through 4 months. And in August, early August, I was ready with my script, and I mean the book form, like I had the 40 paintings with 40 verses. And then I started looking for some scholar friend who can describe these verses and connect them to my paintings. I wanted a very simple language. So I'm so lucky that I found Sister Dr. Basma Abdul Ghaffar. She's from Canada, and her language is so lyrical, so simple, and so melodious that when you read the book, you'll understand how she's connecting these figures and how she's connecting these verses. And so I was very lucky there. And she was so happy to do this project for me that she took down 10 days from her work, and she sat down and wrote all this for me. And by the end of August, I had the full script in my hand. And here I would like to mention there are 4 other scholars and writers who supported me by sending their essays, like Imam Zaid Shakir. He wrote a beautiful essay for my book introducing my work. And Daisy Khan, she's the president of Wise Women, and she wrote the introduction to my book. And another scholar friend, her name is Afra Jalavi. She also from Canada, and she also contributed. And Aish Turgut, she's an art writer, as I knew her for a long time. So she wrote a beautiful essay about my work. So it all came together. And I feel so blessed and that I could start the project. And then I finished it also, and it got published also, because the funding was also there. So by end of 2020, I had this book published. And I'll share one copy with you on the screen. 1 second. So this is the book. And oh, it's going opposite. I know, I'm sorry. But well, so today I'm going to describe this book to you and explain you the verses and what I have done with the paintings and how I have done those paintings. So if you allow me, I'll share the screen and continue my presentation. Sorry, no, this is not the one. Oh no, I'm so sorry. I have to increase the size now. I have to go on the top. So this is the book, and Before going ahead with the slides, I want to read few lines from my statement that will show my intentions, why I did this book, and what is the purpose behind it, and what is the inspiration for my work. So it is my humble effort to amplify awareness of the imbalance that humans have created in nature, and to encourage people to care for the earth and live in harmony with other living things. So I paint to connect with the oneness. I listen into the unity of the design. When paint, it is an expression of both our primordial nature and the potential of our higher place in connection to God. Where you may see playfulness in my work, I experience myself reflecting on the joy of this connection, nature and humanity. All life is one. My commitment is to both paint and celebrate all living beings that make up the totality of our unique and generous family. My highest dream is that the work that comes through me may help our human family to wake up to a very special place in this complex and beautiful web of life. For me, love is the only way to protect life's generous tapestry. So this is the purpose of my work and my statement about my work. And I'll share with you some of the verses now. This is the first verse which caught my eye when I planned this book in early stages, because this verse says, and there's no trading creature in the earth or a flying creature that flies with its wings, except that form communities like yours. We have not overlooked anything in the book. Then to their Lord shall they be gathered. So this put me in thinking, and especially I read the further explanation online and listened to Dr. Imam Zaid Shakir also. So these are like, I started this project very, it just flowed out, as I say always. So I picked up these square canvases, 12 inches by 12 inches, and put a circle on them, all of them, because for me, a circle was a significant symbol of earth, And then I started drawing different communities like animals, plants, butterflies, insects, human beings, and under the sea life and everything. So all that I started doing one by one, and I did the pen and ink drawing, which I love, and then gave very light washes of acrylic paint. So these were done. This was my first painting describing the communities, And that time I did only 12 to begin with, but then I've added 4 more, and who knows, I might continue and add some more also. So I'll go to the next slide. So this one is the second verse, which was always in my mind whenever I read the verse Ar-Rahman. In that it says, and the earth he has set for all living creatures. So this always made me think that why humans think that they are the owners of this earth, while Allah is saying that he has spread the earth for all the creatures. So this was very clear in my mind how I want to do this. So I spread a large canvas, it's 30 by 60, and I put a paper also. I like the textures. So sometimes, many times I use paper or gesso or modeling paste to create the surfaces of the painting. So in this painting, I put the paper on the canvas, mounted the paper on canvas, and then started again the drawing of simple animals, in a folk style, and the plants and water. And, like it just came through. Let me tell you, I don't plan my paintings, but my idea was to spread them out all over. So that's how I did. And I also added my calligraphy in this painting. The verse at the bottom in Arabic says, well, arda wal daba lil earth, sorry. Arda wal daba Lilnar. So I'm not an Arabic reading person, but I can write well. So this one says the earth is spread for all. So this was a beautiful journey here. And then I did this painting, which is another part of the same verse. And it says, and the sky is raised and set the balance. So when the balance is mentioned in Quran, it's like Allah's balance. It's the perfect. It's a perfection, and He asks us not to disturb this balance. So when I try to do this painting, I try to put the sky, the water, and earth in equal balance, and then trying to show different life on these different planes, how they survive and live. And Allah is the sustainer of all. And this is his creation, and we have to just respect the creation and do not disturb the balance, as we have been asked not to disturb the balance. And then I did these few paintings. Then I went on picking up each words every time. So there's a lot of mention of water in the Quran, because Allah says, I have poured water from the skies for you, and how you can sustain yourselves. So this particular ayat says, the verse says, then let the human consider his, her food, that we poured water in abundance. Then we cleaved the earth, a great division. So we planted in her seeds and grapes and clovers and olives and palms and lush gardens and fruits and herbage and enjoyment for you and for your cattle. So it's a blessing. So these two paintings also happened very naturally, because when I read this translation, it is so lyrical and beautiful. So like I started with the sky, with the clouds coming on the sky, then the earth is revived with the rain, so the yellow is turning into green, and then first you see the grass, and then you see the trees rising, palm trees, different fruit trees, zaitun, olives, so this was just a gradual painting, but it was very interesting the way it developed for me. It's again a large painting, 30 by 60 on canvas, and on the left side, this I wanted to show the beautiful flowers, that when the water comes, the whole earth is like decorated like a bride, like so many color flowers and fruits and beautiful nature, like it spreads around us, and it's such a beauty to watch for the eyes, for the heart, for the mind. So these paintings, actually, they are two different verses, but I picked them up here together because the same verse could apply for both, that Allah has created this earth with all this beauty for us. And this is in the water. Like what here in many verses I read, Allah is saying that I have given you this water. Under the water, you find the fishes to eat, and then fruit to eat, and then there are pearls and oysters and amazing treasures in the water also. So this verse said, and it is he who made the sea amendable so that you may eat tender meat and extract from it ornaments that you wear. And you see the ships flowing through. It's so that you may seek of his bounty and so that you may give thanks. So this is always mentioned again and again, to give thanks, because he has given you this. They didn't just appear on the land. This is all mercy from God. And we have to just accept it. And frankly, here I would like to say I love doing fishes. Fishes is a form of a very creative energy. I love that. So I have done often the fish paintings, but in these two, especially thinking about this verse also, I just went happily moving from left to right, right to left, the fish forms and the transparent color layers, and the details with pen and ink and fine brush, this was just enjoyment, and I think Allah has given us so much to enjoy and think about, so. And this is also very beautiful verse, because it says, or do they who reject the truth and see that the skies and earth were fused? So we tore them apart and made from water everything, every living thing. Will they not believe? So this also verse which says that from water came everything. And it was such a beautiful for my imagination, because I love doing this skies and water. So the lower painting is actually, I have tried to write on the waves that this verse, same verse in Arabic, that it tore apart and the sky and earth were formed, from the water. On the top one is showing that all the life came from water. So all the animals, birds, fishes, human beings, plants, flowers, they all appear from the water. So these are the important ayat I have shown you, like he has created all this, the water, the sky, the earth, and the plants and everything. And these are all gifts to us, gifts to humanity. And now in my next few slides, I'll try to show you what we have done to these gifts, how we have destroyed the balance, and how we have disobeyed the God. So here verse is reading, corruption has appeared on land and sea by what the hands of people have earned, so that he may give them a test of some of their actions, perchance to consider. Obviously, what is happening today, it has been warned. We have been warned again and again in Quran also, in everywhere, in every holy book, I'm sure, that don't do this, don't destroy the earth, don't misuse the earth, don't abuse the earth, the waters. These are gifts from God. So this one is again emphasizing that point, and corruption will happen. This is something has been announced, that the human being will become corrupt, and this is what we have become, with our corrupt minds, greedy minds, and the top painting, I was trying to show the sea, in the far off, it's flowing beautifully with the blue waters and the life within it. But slowly, when it comes to our banks, this becomes yellow, dirty, muddy, red, because the red suggests the blood, that we are killing the life in sea. So you see dead fishes coming on the banks. And if you try to fish, nowadays you don't get fish, you get the plastic bottles. So this is the corruption we have been doing because of greediness. And instead of doing the biodiversity in the earlier slide where I showed you, we are doing the monoculture, and killing the beauty again in the nature. So we have to take note of these things and take action depending on these beautiful verses. So these verses too, they are not directly connected to nature, but they are directly connected to social ecology. And I wanted to do that because I wanted to make people aware of these also two important points which Quran is emphasizing. The first one on the left says, He has provided to us with so much food. But what do? We just spread the tables with food, and then we hardly eat anything. We take little, we eat little, but full plate of everything which is spread there, and then we throw that food away. So this is the wastage we do every time. And I have seen so much wastage in my life, I know. So sometimes I wonder if only man becomes more conscious of this feeling, that what he's doing. Like, I want to really make them aware of this injustice they are doing to other human beings by throwing food and not giving to others. And on the right hand side, the image says that Allah has the ayat goes with that. So I read the ayat first, the verse. No, but you do not dignify the orphan, nor do you urge one another to feed the unfortunate. So we read in Quran, the orphans, help the orphans. This is so important because, and if you are given more, give some part of your wealth to these orphans. It is a compulsory statement. And how much we follow, we know how much we follow. And this painting just wanted to show that the affluent people are just walking away. They don't even turn and look at the beggars and the orphans. So it calls our consciousness that pay attention to social ecology also. And in this painting, I tried to show the corrupt people, like, because I said they are the corrupt, the human beings are being corrupt. So I'll read the statement about this painting, which I did. Every living being in nature glorifies the creator except we human beings, wearing masks of masculinity or the know-it-all mask. We wander with pride on the Mother Earth. Recognizing the spiritual dimension of all things ought to encourage humanity to preserve nature, respect boundaries, eliminate greed, and reduce waste, and root out corruption. So in this, what I did, these masks, you see the human masks. So these are the people who are selfish and greedy, and from the materialistic world, who are just going on spilling oil in the water, and like carbon dioxide increasing. So all these people who just want to make money for themselves, they are destroying the beauty of the sky and the seas, on the earth. So you see this corrupt masks all around. So here I would read some more about my statement. We are told in the Quran that human beings willfully assumed a trust that was declined by other forms of creation. This trust appears to be closely associated with our duties and custodianship toward each other and the earth, which is ultimately reflective of our knowledge with the Creator. The human being has betrayed that trust by abusing fellow creatures and spreading corruption on the earth. So this is really very important to read these verses from Quran, which are asking us to be careful and mindfulness living. So, and this brings me to this slide, which may be the last one. But in this, I was trying to show that how all the creation is bowing down, giving sajda to Subhanallah, Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala. So, like, I have the winds, the clouds, the mountains, the birds, the stars, the sun, the moon, human beings, animals, they're all sitting in adoration of this all over spread God, like He's everywhere. So do you not see that to Allah prostrates whoever is in the skies and the earth and the sun and the moon and the stars and the mountains and the trees and trading creatures, that many of people? And for many, application is justified, and whoever Allah shames, there's none who can grant honor. Verily, Allah does what He pleases. So this again is calling us to bow down and to adore this beautiful creation and try to understand it. So these are my some works I shared with you, and now I'll just share again one statement which I wrote. Earth was given as a gift for humanity, and the human being was created and established on this earth as vicegerent. My heart pains to see that earth has become a commodity, land or real estate, or capital or natural resources. In today's material world, what we are witnessing in our world is a failure of humanity to maintain that balance. So we again, I hope this book will create some awareness in human heart to follow the ordinance of Allah. So I think this is the last slide. And now I would like you to answer your questions. You can ask me about my paintings, how I did them, or if you have any other question, I'm here to reply.
Thank you. Thank you, Sister Salma. It's very inspiring. Can you hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear you. I should be
Yeah.
able to stop sharing, right?
Yeah.
Now.
Yep. Thank you again. It's very inspiring.
No,
And you made it very clear that there is a comprehensive concept of environment in Islam and in Quran specifically, and that is a very important thing to know and to understand. I think it's very important, the point that you made about Islam and Quran instructing us to prevent the destruction of all environmental elements. And what Prophet Muhammad says about conserving water, even if you live on a running river, we have to conserve water. That is well said. Thank you again. You know that in Quran, water is mentioned probably around 50 times, probably.
Yeah.
Different surahs and ayahs in Quran. So that says a lot. And the most important thing here that you put us all in front of is our responsibility, the environmental. What is our environmental responsibility towards the environment, the world where we live right now? I think, all these environmental disasters that are happening all over the world, it's a very clear message that, the balance that has been there one time has been destroyed. Mm-hmm. And we are paying the price for our own actions.
Yeah.
So when that balance collapsed, I mean, we see all these environmental disasters, and that is also very well expressed in Sudan, in Quran. I want you to comment a little bit about what's your concept of environmental justice. This is something that we hear quite a lot nowadays. You know, people talk about it, especially in the political discourse that's going on right now. But from an Islamic standpoint, from an Islamic perspective, what is environmental justice to you? What does it mean to you?
It is just to take care. I mean, if we do the biodiversity, like plant more trees, different trees, if we stop using this plastic, if we can find something. There is a new invention about the mycelium, that with mycelium you can create the bags, you know, the plastic bags, or some other material which is degradable, you know, which can be, you know, become part of the earth again, you know. So if we use those materials and do our best to take care of the animals and, you know, not eat them, you know, like rather give them, see, because of the creating this meat, so much, I have heard that millions of money is spent to create the beef steaks or, you know, like lamb chops. So we are just for our selfish food. I mean, we want to eat, but we are destroying our nature, you know, like we see the scarcity of birds or migration. They are migrating, they are some places they are just disappearing, we are losing so much animal habitats, you know, because we go on building. So all these are factors. I know we have done it, but now it's time to stop doing it and try to depend on the nature, like learn from nature and do take some ancestor advice, you know, how they lived before we turn this whole world technological success, you know. But before that, how did we live? We survived, we lived. At least we have to find a little balance, that we go back a little, we go further ahead, but we have to find the balance between these two extreme lives we have.
Thank you so much. We have a question from one of the participants, Shireen. She's asking you, she's saying, thank you so much, Salma. And she's having two questions. The first one is, how did you start painting? Did you go to school, art school?
Yes,
Did you teach yourself? And also she's asking if you have like a favorite Quranic translation.
Alhamdulillah. Well, I have been trained as an artist. My journey is long, though I did my master's in painting from India, from Baroda University, MS University. So I was very lucky, Alhamdulillah, from childhood, my family supported me. So from high school, I directly went to art school in Hyderabad. I did undergrad, and then I got a scholarship. I did my master's also. So art has been my life all through. And I did not know about much Islam. I was a Hindu before marriage. So, but I was a very spiritual person. So I was very close. I am the same God has come with me, and he's always with me, you know, at each step. So I'm a very spiritual person. And then when I got married to a Muslim and we moved out to Middle East, you know, like Kuwait and Iran, we lived there for some years. We had raising family and moved to California, America, Pennsylvania, then California. So all these journeys have added more texture, color, and, you know, like stories to my work. But after 2001, after the 9/11 incident, I think I really felt shaken inside, you know, like this was something people started asking me, that you're an artist and do you think Allah is allowing you to kill people? I said, no, that is not the thing, but how do I explain to them? So that's where I went back to study Quran, seriously study the Quran. And when I did that, I was amazed to find the facts and the beauty and the solace, that I found in the verses of Quran. So I'm grateful there. So, but I learned a lot. I learned Arabic calligraphy. I learned when I was living in Middle East, I used to copy those beautiful calligraphy on the mosque all around, and Isfahan and all those beautiful places I have seen. They are just so fresh in my mind. So all these are coming out in my work nowadays. So I think I'm blessed. I did not did not teach myself painting, but I did teach myself calligraphy by watching this moving line, how it forms the letters, how it forms the meanings. So I call it the lyrical line, and it has been my inspiration, for all my work. And your second question, I'm also learning every time. I pick up different translations, but I think I like Yusuf Ali's translation best. But I'm sure many people will have different opinions. But in Yusuf Ali's translation, I see more simpler language. It's more, at least I understand better. And next, I have some recent, like Basma Abdul Ghaffar, who done the translations and descriptions in the book. She's an amazing person. When she talks about Quran, she hasn't published the Quran with her translations, but I listen to her, and she is so poetic and so beautiful in her talking about God. She's so close to Allah, and she describes as if she's talking to other people just sitting next to Allah. Like she expresses so beautifully. So I think it's a personal journey. It's very difficult to pinpoint, but yes, for general, this thing, Yusuf Ali's Quran, I found the most perfect. Yeah. But I don't know much, so I'm not the perfect person. So maybe Dr. Isam will have some more input on that.
Oh, that's well said. Thank you. I want you to tell us a little bit, if you don't mind, about your some of your national or international shows, like art shows that you participated in. What were the subjects, and how did they go? Can you just tell us a little bit about those?
Alhamdulillah, because as I tell you, I feel blessed. I always say I was born with two wings, spirituality and creativity. So these two wings, I fly without wings also. So these are the part of me, So I have been creating and exhibiting right from beginning. I did my college graduation. During that time, I had my first show in Calcutta. It went in India. It was very successful. I wasn't doing calligraphy like that, but these were my poetry and my thoughts. And I have always done this connecting humanity. Like I do figures connected together, because I wanted to show we are all one, we belong to one God. So this has been very consistent in my work. And I'm so happy and so grateful to Allah to tell you that I have been always working, always painting, always showing. Even in Kuwait, I showed, even in Iran, I showed, in Pennsylvania, I had so much. So I have been invited for shows many times. And sometimes I approach the galleries and they give me the shows. So I've been lucky. And recently I'm trying to put my data together. Now I'm almost 70. So I want to say that today, when I look back, I tried to put my data together. It's not only 40, 45 shows, it had been 60 solo shows so far. So that means each year I have been doing at least one show. But that is true because I work constantly. I come to my studio every day. I work for at least 3 to 4 hours. And it just flows out. The inspiration is there. It seems I just put the canvas on the wall and start working, or the paper on the table. I just start working, and images after images, and they just flow out on the surface. So sometimes I take small canvas. Sometimes I take huge canvases, like 90 inches wide canvases also. So I have done a lot of work in my lifetime, and I'm so grateful that I had chances to show, and I had chances to publish the books. This is my 6th book. Our Earth, Embracing All Community is my 6th book. I have done with other projects and my earlier works, some of the books also. And it's a blessing. I feel blessed. And I feel I'm a tool, and Allah wants to, He guides me to do some things, and I just put on the paper or the canvas. So it's a blessing.
Great. I also want to know if among all the work that you have been working on and doing, have you done anything for children? I mean, to educate them environmentally, I mean, to be aware of the environmental problems, something that is specifically targeting children who will be responsible of this world in the short future?
Sure. So frankly speaking, this is the first book for which I had children in my mind, really speaking. If you look at the book, the drawings are very simple, just very, very simple, folk style drawings of animals and all that. And of course, they cannot read it. Somebody has to read to them. But I think these images at least show them that this is all God has created. I would like to do in future, who knows, I might do a project with children also. But yeah, this is my intention also, to reach out to children and the common man, that what are we supposed to do, you know? So, but yeah, this book, I had children in mind. I don't deny it. In fact, there's one author, Simi Ghazi. She's in Vancouver. She's daughter of Miss Taslima Ghazi, and from the Chicago, they have this Ikra publications. So that person has written a beautiful essay about my work, where she said that she sat with the book with her 11 years old boy, and how much he learned looking at those images. So I was really happy to read that and find that, because I do want to teach children, because if they are taught now how to take care of things, future could be better for us. We may not live here to see that, but at least it will become better for them, you know. And that should be our objective, to help children to achieve that. You know, we are not living forever, but there should be some people who should carry this work, and the children are the best. In fact, I see that children are more conscious. Nowadays, young people are more conscious than older generation. Older generation still throws the food, but teenagers, you don't find them throwing the food. You know, many times, they rush to pay and give to the poor people outside. I've seen that. I have witnessed that. You know, so who knows? You know, that in every society, every time, as Quran says, there are some good people who carry on, and then another tribe is born from them, and then again evil comes. Evil is always around us, but then there's some good people who will continue working in this direction, in what Allah is asking us to do. That's how we'll carry on our legacy.
Thank you so much, Sister Salma. That is very inspiring. It's very telling, and it's very important. I hope we all focus on it. I hope we all do something about it. In a time that, we live in a time, unfortunately, that when, people are pro or against climate change.
That's very, very unfortunate. That's all I can say. That's the ego of the man.
It is, yeah. It's politics. Let's put it simple and plain. Thank you so much. I want to know if anyone has any other question or comment to Sister Salma before we close. All right, so thank you so much. Thank you for everyone. This is going to be the end of our session today. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much for coming. Thanks a lot. Yeah. Bye.
Okay, Sister Salma, we're going to continue, you and me, just to talk about some other stuff.
Okay, but I think it's do you want me to share?
I can stop the recording. Give me 1 second.